tomorrow we got UFC 301 Alexander Pantoja versus Steve Urseg. What I have done for the past 2 or 3 pay-per-views. If you guys look, it's all documented. You guys look at the YouTube, look at the TikTok, it's there. On the pay-per-view, I give you a bet for every single fight. So I'm going to run through these. It's not going to be a bit of a breakdown. It's just kind of where I think the fight's going to go. I'm on a stupid run right now, which makes me nervous to give these picks, but here we are. Because anytime any real sports bettor knows that when you're on a run, it's all got to come to a crashing, firing halt at some point. But let's start from the bottom and we'll make our way to the top. So we got Alessandro Costa versus Kevin Borjas. I'm taking Alessandro Costa at minus 140. Next fight, Ismail Bonfim versus Vince Pichel. I'm taking Bonfim to win inside the distance. That's at even money. Taking that one. Diane Barboza versus Ernesta. Yeah, right. I'm going to try to say this last name.
I thought you were pronouncing it. I was like, wow, dude, that's how you say that?
Yeah, so I'm going to say this fight goes the distance. It goes all 3 rounds at minus 170. I'm taking that one. Next fight, Mauricio Rufy versus Jamie Malarkey. I am going to say this fight goes under 2.5 rounds at minus 185. Next fight, Joaquim Silva versus Drakkar Klose. I am taking Drakkar Klose at minus 185. Next fight, Elvis Brenner versus, yeah, right, I'm going to say his last name, Oralby, right? This is my big underdog pick. I'm going to take Brenner. He's sitting at plus 210. I'm taking him. This fight's in Brazil, by the way, so you might have a little bit of motivation to take some of the Brazilian-born fighters, as they might see some added motivation, right?
They always show up in their hometown, dude. That's what it
And
seems
this
like.
might not, there might be not any proof behind this, but I think judges kind of sway towards the hometown guys, in
Sure.
my opinion. But, technically the judges have no affiliation and they're randomly selected, but we'll move on. Maybe they just don't want to get stabbed. Who knows? And the next fight, I got Karolina Kovacevic versus Lasmin Lucindo. I'm going to say this fight goes the distance at minus 175. Next fight, Joe Anderson Brito versus Jack Shore. This is actually my fight of the night pick. I think this one's going to be a barn burner. I am actually going to take Jack Shore at plus 135 underdog, but this one's going to be a banger. I have a hard time picking this one. I think there's too much value on a 17-1 Jack Shore. So moving forward, Paul Craig versus Caio Borralho. This fight's going under 2.5 rounds. That is sitting at minus 150. Next fight, Michelle Pereira, Ihor Poteria. I'm going to say this fight completes 1 round. That's sitting at minus 150. Next fight, Anthony Smith versus, God, I wish he would stop fighting. Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. I am going to say this fight completes 2 rounds. So this fight will go over 2 rounds, and that is sitting at minus 130. Jonathan Martinez versus the recently unretired Jose Aldo. We just talked about him in the draft. He's making his return in Brazil in front of his home crowd, and I'm taking Jonathan Martinez at
Wow.
minus 145.
Wow.
Jose Aldo was bad when he retired. I'm supposed to be better now that he's coming back? No way. Jonathan
Yes.
Martinez is a stud. I'm taking Martinez at minus 145. But if Aldo wins, that'd be fucking awesome. I'll gladly lose a bet for Aldo to win 100%. And the main event, I have lost sleep over this one. Alexander Pantoja, Steve Urseg. Urseg is sitting at plus 155, and I love it. He's such a wild card, and flyweight at 125 pounds for dudes is such an interesting division because the skill gap isn't crazy. It's not like other divisions where there's your champion, then there's a big skill gap, and then there's the other guys. A lot of these guys can fight with each other. Like, they're
Mhm.
all on a similar skill level. So I would love Steve Urseg to come in as an underdog at the 11th ranked flyweight and beat Pantoja. But in Brazil, I'm just not comfortable taking it, but I like it. I like plus 155. I'm not taking it. I'm going to take Pantoja at minus 185.